So if you are a YouTube beginner in 2022, what kind of camera should you buy? Well, it will of course depend on what kind of content you are planning to make. So as you can see, it's not really that simple, but to make it a bit easier, I've broken this video down into 3 sections. Main camera, secondary B-roll camera, and special cameras. I also did some expensive mistakes in the beginning I will talk about in the end of the videos. I won't go too far into the specs of all the cameras, so if you want a closer look, I've put up links in the description field for all the equipment I use. So by main camera, I mean the camera that you use while you are talking to the camera or while you are performing the task that you're going to do. Now there are several great cameras here, but if you are serious about YouTube, I would invest in a proper DSLR or the mirrorless equivalent. These are cameras with interchangeable lenses. The reason is that these are great cameras to grow with. You can change out the lens and get the effects you want. These also have a far larger image sensor than the traditional camcorders or mobile phones. I have and will recommend the Canon M50 Mark II. This is a great camera for only $700 with a kit lens. So this is a really practical camera as it has a flip out screen so you can see that you're always in the frame. It also have a really powerful face and eye detection, so you are always in focus. So this is a mirrorless camera, so the autofocus is really fast. It also shoots in 4K, but it crops the picture quite a bit, and you will also lose some of the autofocus abilities. So if this is something that is important to you, this camera is not for you. Remember that most watch YouTube on mobile phones anyway, so 180p is quite enough. And also remember that if you're going to edit 4K footage, you will need a really powerful computer. Secondary and B-roll camera. So why would you need more than one camera? Let's say you have a baking channel. The viewers also need to see what you are doing on your counter, not only you in profile. If you only have one camera, you need to move the main camera back and forward. For every new shot you take, you will not be able to place the camera back in the exact same position. So this does not only apply to cooking channels. No matter what you're doing, you need to use more than one camera angle or your video will become extremely boring. So depending on the kind of content that you make, this secondary camera could either be your phone or an action camera. So I have and use the Insta360 Go action camera. This is a unique small camera that you can mount on everything. The camera itself is not actually bigger than this. So you can put this everywhere. It has a magnetic mounting system, so it just snaps in place. So this camera has a 180-degree lens, and it's actually so wide that you can use the Insta360 app to choose the part of the image that you want to use. So this camera does not miss anything. So I've used this camera a lot on my farm videos to capture some unique footage. But if you're planning on using this to also capture audio, I would go for the GoPro. Because this camera do not have an audio port, and you should never rely on the internal microphone. So action cameras are great for capturing shots to spice up your video. But you should not use this as your main camera, as I've seen many YouTubers do. And the reason for that is that the action cameras distorts your face because of the wide angle lens. It will make your nose look really big and your face look really narrow. I've seen these mistakes on countless of videos on YouTube. Special cameras. In this category I will place drones. These are great for setting the mood of your videos. From the slow gliding videos for a nature channel to the fast flying on an action channel. These cameras are not for everybody. If your activity is only indoor, you do not need one. You should also remember before buying a drone that in most countries there are rules for using your drone and where you can fly it. Many countries require you to get a drone piloting license before you are allowed to fly. So remember to check that before you make a purchase. So I have and use the DJI Mavic Air 2 drone. This is a powerful drone that can shoot 4K footage. It also has something called active tracking. And that means that it can follow either you or your car when you're out filming. And that can be really practical if you're filming by yourself. So if you decide to purchase this drone, I would go for the Fly More combo package. as you get 3 batteries included. These can be really expensive if you buy them separately. So if you buy a drone, I would suggest that you get something from DJI. There are other brands out there and cheaper ones, but these are often considered as toys and have really bad cameras. So when I started my first YouTube channel, it was on an impulse. I went to the electronic shops to find a camera that I could use, and I had not used any time to research the cameras. So I ended up buying a camera from Kit Vision called Ventura 4K. And I thought, as long as it has 4K, you cannot go wrong. It must be good. I was wrong. This camera cost me around $150 with a waterproof casing. The image stabilization of this camera was so bad that it could not be moved. The colors were really bad and the footage was grainy and terrible. So I did not use this camera for many shots before I got something better. Now the new GoPro cameras cost quite a bit more than this, but at least you know that you are getting quality. If you buy a half expensive camera, which is so bad that you cannot use it anyway, it's still more expensive to just go for the camera that you can use. And on that same trip I also bought a drone. I bought the Suma X23W. This had an HD camera and cost me around $100. The footage from this drone was so bad that I never used it on anything, because it really is unwatchable. Now how they can call this camera HD, I don't know. But I later discovered that this is actually considered a toy. So do the research. Never just buy anything without knowing what it is first. Watch some videos and watch several videos from the product on YouTube before you buy it. So if you want to know what microphones you should get for your YouTube video, watch this video next. Thank you for watching. I will be seeing you on the next videos.